Is this another good news story from Marvel Studios? Well, if you're a fan of Blade, it sounds like it is to me. Let's take a couple minutes to break down the latest report about Marvel's upcoming horror reboot and why, once again, it totally sounds like Marvel Studios is listening to us fans. The time of the Daywalker is here. Now, before we do that though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC videos and want to be your place for all the superhero news, but we're going to bring it to you truthfully and transparently so you are in the know. Now, in recent years, Marvel has started to have some trouble with several of their productions, and probably at the top of that list is Blade. The movie was announced several years ago, and it's just basically failed to take off with multiple reboots in writers and directors. But now we're finally getting some positive stories about the upcoming project. Now, they got a new director and a new writer a couple of months ago, so we knew this film was getting shooken up. But now it appears Marvel has gone back to the drawing board altogether and is giving us, well, exactly what fans asked for. Now, in the last 24 hours, we've started to get several reports about Blade, and these have come via multiple scoopers. And most of these stories seem to align pretty well. Now, according to these sources, the movie is set to start shooting this summer, but instead of shooting over in the UK as originally planned, it will be shot down in Mexico. Now, it also sounds like this story has been really scaled back, and they're focusing on what's important and what fans want to see, which is Mahershala Ali killing vampires. That's pretty much at the core of the character, and those scenes in the original outing, well, they're pretty timeless, they still work, and really make the character come to life. So this completely sounds like a win to me. This is pretty much what fans have demanded, and it sounds like Marvel Studios, once they went back to the drawing board, and seem to be trying to give fans exactly the story they want. Now, you also may recall recently that scooper Daniel Rickman also claimed that the movie had been shooken up and will take place in the modern day and not be a timepiece like many of us have been hearing for several months. Now, the same report went on to confirm that Mia Goth will indeed be playing Lilith, which has been speculated as the main villain of the movie for a really long time. But more importantly, it will set the stage for a big future Marvel project. Apparently, Midnight Suns is still in the wings, and Marvel does have some big plans for an Avengers-style team-up for their horror characters in the not-so-distant future. Now, once you throw Blade into the mix, we already have a pretty interesting lineup with Moon Knight, Werewolf by Night, and Man-Thing already part of the MCU, and several other characters who could potentially join the group as supporting roles, or even some other existing Marvel characters like Doctor Strange or the Punisher who have been associated with the Midnight Suns in the past. Many people are pretty hopeful that Ghost Rider could also be part of this project, but Blade is the kickoff, and it seems like Marvel is focusing on that for the upcoming movie, so I believe we could get introduced to several other horror supporting characters in this film. Obviously, there's a ton of Blade fans out there, and this movie is highly anticipated. You cannot overstate how important the original Wesley Snipes film was to the modern MCU and modern superhero stories. The movie was a massive hit, showed these films can be extremely successful, and really was the first film to dive into the rated R section of this world right out of the get-go. We know this film is also going to be rated R. Marvel's going to the mat for the film. Marvel will probably push their traditional limits in storytelling to garner these horror elements, and I really hope that's where the whole Marvel horror world lives, on the R side of the rating, dark and dirty, and maybe even a little bloody. But we're going to have to wait and see.